today let's start with chapter number 4, layers and animation. In this chapter, I will tell you about the layers and the different animation and how to create a layer, how to create animation. So let's start with the chapter. So animation, while often thought as more or less, it's a modern medium through which we use different forms since 1906. Last century, we have used it to entertain our propaganda and to tell stories, to invoke emotions. Where what we do, we invoke our emotions. So animation is an important because it makes us able to tell stories and communicate emotions and ideas. How? In a unique and easy to perceive the way that both small and adult can understand. So animation has helped connect people throughout the world in the way that sometimes writing and the live action films cannot. So now import artwork to animate. How we will import an artwork to animate it? So for that, Adobe Animate can use artwork creating in other applications. So in Animate, we do not need to create all our graphics. So we can import bitmaps and vector graphics. What you can import? You can import bitmaps and vector graphic. So from many other applications, when we import a bitmap graphic, it is immediately added to the animate library for yours. So we can add it to the frames in a movie. If you want to add frames in a movies or video, you can add it. So the vector graphic and animation created in Animate can be used in website, video interactive applications, video games, television program, and also in web-based application. Next is bitmap graphic. What is bitmap graphic? It is called raster graphic, which is composed of many tiny parts called pixel, which are of many different color. When we enlarge, rotate or stretch, these graphics become red and suffer a loss in resolution. So it is known as GIF, which is graphic interface format. And we have JPG, that is joint photographic export GIF. What are these? These are the example of graphic image file types that contain bitmap. Next is vector graphic. What is vector graphic? So it is not made up of pixel. Instead, a vector graphic comprises of parts which are defined by a start and end point, as well as and other point. So we have curved and angles along the way also. So we can say that we can enlarge, rotate and stretch the graphic without any loss. Without any loss in resolution, you can stretch it, you can rotate it, and you can change the size also, right? Now we have importing a graph. Now you want to import a graphic, then how you will import? So for that, you have to click on File, Import and Import to Stage. Or you can press Ctrl+R on the keyboard key. Click on these areas to navigate the folder drive. Where have been stored? Wherever, whether in this PC, 3D desktop, and your desktop, document, downloads, wherever your image is there, you can search from there. And after that, click on the file to import and click on Open. So from here, you can open it. Now the graphic appears on the stage as grouped object. The graphic also appear in the library. You can see it is appeared over here and also in lighting. So what are layers? They are the key components. What we call them? They are key components of working with graphic object and animations. They are effective at adding depth to our graphic objects, and the layers enables us to organize artwork in the document. So object can be drawn. It can be edited on one layer without affecting the object. The layer which is in the another object which is in another layer, it will not get affected, right? So they are useful for more complex movies or working with multiple animation. Here you can work with multiple animation also. Let's see about this. What we call it, this dustbin, it is a delete button. This is our insert layer. This is layer name, layer 1, layer 2. Now you can also show or hide all the layers. And this is your lock or unlock. You can lock also and you can unlock the layers also. So to draw, paint or otherwise to modify layer or folder, you will select layer in the timeline. So that you can make it active. So for that, a pencil icon next to the layer, to the folder name in a timeline indicates that the layer or the folder is active. Only one layer can be active. Only one layer can be active at a one time. So you cannot active multiple layer. Only one layer will be active. Now types of layer. We have different types of layer like normal layer, guide layer, motion scene layer, right? First is normal layer. It contains most of the artwork in a file, right? Dot flat file. Then we have guide layer. So here it contains strokes that can be used to guide the arrangement of objects. So here you can arrange the motion of these animation also. Next is motion twin layer. It contains object animated with motion twin. Next is mask layer, in which what we do, we use the masks to hide the selected portion. What you use as mask to hide selected portion of layer. Next is masked layer, which is beneath the mask and that is associated with mask layer. Only the portion of the mask layer revealed by the mask is visible, right? Which will be revealed by a mask, only that layer will be visible to you. Next is your advantages. We have some advantages of layer. What are these? So layers give more freedom in editing and give a way to keep object from merging on one layer. It gives freedom as well as it helps us in not be merged with different layer. So next is layer provide functionalities to look them which help in increasing the speed, from which what you can do, you can increase the speed. So making only outlines visible of anything is possible with the help of layer. What it is saying, it will be only possible so that you can make visible layers. Now layers can be rearranged. You can rearrange them, allowing to change the order in which the objects are displayed, changing the composition of the scene, and you can also change the composition of this scene. Next is individual layer can be turned on or off. You can turn on or you can turn off. But it can be off and on temporarily. So which allows operators to focus on one particular part of project at a time without the distraction, so that you may not get distracted. Next is with layers, different effects can be applied. Through this layer, you can apply different effects on the individual elements of a single graphic, right? Apply transparency to a file by placing it on a layer and applying the effect to the only that one layer, right? Now next is creating a layer. Now you want to create a layer, how you will create it? So for that, click on the new layer button at the bottom of the timeline, right? So here you can see it is insert. When you will go at insert, there will be many options, new symbol, motion tune, create shape tune, and your create classic, and there will be a timeline. So you have to click on timeline and there different option will be there, layers, layers folder, frame, keyframe. You have to go on layers, right? So after that, right click on the layer name in the timeline and select insert layer in the content one. So when you have gone to layer folder, so after that, now creating a layer folder. How you can create a layer folder? So for that, follow the below steps. First is select the layer or folder. You have to select the layer or folder over there and then select insert, then timeline, and then you have to go to layer folder. First of all, you will go to insert, then timeline, and then to a layer folder. So click a new folder icon. At the bottom of the timeline, the new folder appear above the layer or the folder that you have selected. Next is organizing layers and layers folder. Now you want to organize layers and layers folder. To organize document, rearrange the layer folders in the timeline. Layer folders organize the workflow by letting us place layers in a tree structure. In this, how we put the layers in the tree structure. So to see the layer, folder contains without affecting the layer which is visible on the stage, it's expand or collapse the folder. So then folder can contain both layers and other folder and allowing us to organize layer in the same way we organize files on the computer. Like we organize files on the folder like this, only we can organize layer over here. The layer controls in the timeline effect all layers within a folder, like locking layer folder locks all the layers. Like we can say that the locking layer folders, what it do? It locks all the layer with the folder. To move a layer or layer folder into layer folder, what you will do? You will drag the layer or layer folder. Anything you can drag to the destination of the layer folder name. To change the order or folder, when you have to change the order of layer or folder, you will drag one layer or layer folder in the timeline. To expand or collapse a folder, click the triangle to the left of the folder. Now, when you want to expand or collapse a folder, you will right click and select expand all folder or collapse all folder. Now, working with the layers in timeline. Let's work with the layers in the timeline. So, for that we can select, rename, delete, lock, hide. You can do anything. You can select also, you can rename also, you can hide also, you can delete also, and you can lock the layer. So, selecting a layer, to make a layer active, either select the layer in the timeline or select a stage object in the layer. So, active layer is highlighted in the timeline and is indicated with pencil icon. You will see that here the pencil icon will be shown. So, it will be indicated with pencil icon. Now, renaming a layer. Now, you want to rename the layer. So, for that, by default, animate CC assign names to new layer by order in which they are created, like layers 1 and layer 2. So, double click the name of the layer. What you have to do? You have to double click on the layer and then select the layer or folder in the timeline. Then you will select modify and then you will go to timeline and layer properties. And after enter the new name, you will click on OK. Now deleting the layer. Now you want to delete the layer. We have different layer. Now you want to delete it. So for that, to select the layer or folder, click it, tame the timeline or any frame. Now different steps has been given to delete the layer. First is click the delete layer button. First of all, what you will do, you will go in the timeline and you will delete. Layer button will click and click on delete button. When we delete a layer folder, all the enclosed layer, they are and their contents are also deleted. Layer will be deleted and the contents, the layer that contain will also be get deleted. Then locking and unlocking. Now you want to lock it or unlock it. We have different steps, like click on the layer to make it active. So in the timeline, you will click on white dot. Here the white dot is shown. You will click on this white dot and a padlock icon appears indicating the layer is now locked. You can see here it is showing that layer is locked. So to unlock, click on the padlock icon next to the layer name in the timeline. So it will get unlocked. When you will click on it. Now next is showing and hiding a layer. Now you want to show or you want to hide the layer. So for that also we have different steps. So to hide a layer of folder, click in the eye icon. Right column in the right layer of the folder name. To show the layer or folder, click it again. If you want to show it, you will click on it again. Now to hide all the layers and folder in the timeline, click the eye icon. And to show all the layers and folder, click it again. Then you will click it again. Now then we have cross marks that appear on the layer bullet and all the object or shapes we have made in the layer will hide. To make it visible again, we can click on cross in the eye icon column, right? To show or hide multiple layer on folder, drag through either eye column. If you want to hide or show multiple column, you can show it. To hide all layers and folder other than the current layer or folder, you will click on Alt plus. In the I column, to show all layers and folder, you will click on Alt plus click. Next is symbols and instances. Let's study about the different symbols. So, one of the most effective way to use animate is to use symbol. Where what you need? You need more than one instance or a graphic or animation or song. So, for that a symbol, it is an object in animate which is stored in the library and can be used repeatedly throughout the movie. So what it is, it can be a graphic object, a movie clip or a graphic created in another program or a button. Sound clips may also be symbols. When we drag a symbol from the library on the stage, what you do? We create an instance. So using instance does not affect the file, not matter how many times we reuse a symbol. We can create many instances and many symbol, each with its own set of properties, like different color, we have different size, we have to use in our animate movie as instance. Next is creating a symbol. Now you want to create a symbol. How we will create the symbol? I will tell you the different steps of creating a symbol. So for that, first of all, you will select the object to convert into a symbol. You will select the object so that we can convert it into a symbol, and right click on the selected object, click to convert to symbol from the menu. Or you can also press S8. Next is type the name for the symbol. Then you will type the name here like yellow circle. Now click on graphics. Where you will go? You will click on graphics over here, and top down list it will be appear. Then by clicking on the icon to the next of registration, we can select a symbol registration point. Each of the little squares is clickable. By clicking the text next to the folder, what we can do? We can place the symbol in subfolder of our library. And then we can see the advanced symbol creation option. So you will see the advanced option. This is the option of advanced. Now you will click on OK, and after that clicking the OK, the symbol appears in the library and it is ready to be used in our project, and you can use it in your project, right? We can preview the symbol, right? If we have more than one symbol, then by clicking on the symbol name, you can preview the symbol that appear in the top section of the library window. Now inserting an instance. After creating the symbol in our library, we can add as many instances of that symbol to the stage as we like. So instance refers to copy of original symbol, right? This will not have much impact on the file size of our exported movie. So for that, follow the below steps to create an instance. So for that, open the layer to insert an instance. Click on library tab, click on the symbol name, click and drag the symbol from the library over the stage. Release the mouse button at the position where we need. So release the mouse button at the position where we need the instance to appear on the stage. So the instance of the symbol appears. Here you can see it has appeared on the stage, and animate does not let us place an instance on the stage on a logged layer. We need to make sure that there is no unlocked layer on the stage. You can see there we do not have any unlocked layer at this stage. Then we have organizing symbol with folder. How you can organize symbol with folder? So after creating the symbol, we can organize the symbol in the folder. We can also add and delete folder. If you want to add the folder, you can add, and if you want to delete, you can delete. You can move one folder to another folder. Now follow the below steps to organize symbol. To create a new folder, click on new folder icon from bottom of the library window. So after that, type a new name of the folder and you will press enter key, and to view folder content, double click on the folder. Where you will click? On the folder. To move a symbol into folder, simply drag the symbol over a folder icon. When we release the mouse button, what you will do? The symbol moves into the folder. And to delete the folder, click on it and then click on delete icon from the bottom of the library window. Next is animation in Animate. How you can do animation in Animate? So animation feature is most existing except of Adobe Animate. We can place our Animate project on the web page for others to view. Animation makes a website come to life. It animate affects the scene or object that changes smoothly from one frame to the next, creating an illusion of movement. What it's create? It's create an illusion. What it creates? Illusion. It looks like that it is moving. Next is your setting movie dimension and speed of animation. So for that, we need to set up a size and speed at which we want to play a movie. So a movie dimension, it refers to horizontal as well as vertical size of the stage. The play speed of the movie determines number of frames per second in which the animation occurs. So the frame rate is measured by what? Frames per second. A frame rate that is too slow makes animation appear to shudder, while the frame rate that is too fast blurs details of animation. A frame rate of 30 FPS is a default setting for a new animate document, which gives the best result on the web. What it gives? The best result. Now follow the below steps to select the movie dimension and the speed for animation. So you have to click on modify banding. Then click on document. You will click on document. Now select the measuring unit. You will select some measuring unit. So drag the mouse left to decrease value of width and drag right to increase the value of width. You drag the mouse left to decrease the value of height and drag the right to increase the value of height, right? Now drag the mouse left to decrease number of frames per second and right to increase number of frame per second, and then you will click OK. Next topic is adding frames. So we can add frames and keyframes to add time to animate a movie. A frame is an empty area. What is frame? It is an empty area along with the timeline. Then we have keyframe. It is a frame that has an animation in it or where a new symbol appears in the timeline. It is used for critical point right in the timeline where content changes. And keyframes are also used to mark the beginning or ending of an animation, and we can add or remove frames to adjust the timing accordingly. Right? You can adjust your time according to your wish. Next is a keyframe is indicated on the timeline with a black circle. So you can see that a keyframe is indicated by a black circle. The frame where keyframe span ends has a white rectangle. When we insert an object into a keyframe, the black circle changes to black dot and the frames between two black dots become light gray. And we can say that a blank keyframe is added to the timeline and we plan to add later or to clearly the frame black. So for that, Animate automatically removes all our content and from the stage at the blank keyframe to start fresh at a certain point of timeline. We don't have to manually delete the object from the stage, right? We don't need to delete manually. It will delete automatically. Now adding regular frames. Now you want to add the regular frames, you will go to insert and here the option will be there for frames and then you will add from here. So click an empty frame on a timeline. To insert a new frame, click on insert menu, click on timeline, click on frame to insert a frame or you will press F5, right? So that Animate inserts regular frames, and for that if we add regular frame in the midst of existing regular frame, all the frames to the right of insertion move over to make a room for the new frame. And what it will do? It will make a new room for a new frame. Then we have add in keyframes. Now you want to add the keyframes. So for that, click on an empty frame. You will go and you will click on the empty frame, right? Add the regular frame in the timeline. Then click on insert menu. After that, you will go to insert menu. Then click on timeline. After timeline, you have to go to keyframes, right? After going to keyframes, you can, if the selected frame in step 1 was regular frame, Animate will convert it to the keyframe. Automatically what it will do? It will convert it to keyframe. If the frame is an empty frame, Animate inserts regular frames in between the last keyframe and the selected frame in step first. Now, frame by frame animation. What is frame by frame animation? It is also known as stop motion animation. It is a typical and older and easiest way to animate the object. It is achieved by manipulating a physical object and making it appear to move on its own by shooting one frame and manipulating the object, then shooting another frame and so on. We can create an illusion. right, of movement in animation movie by changing the placement of the stage content from keyframe to key frame. Now adding background. Now you want to add the backgrounds in the layers. So how you will add? It will be selected in the layer by default. When we start adopt animate like this, a frame will be there. So for that we have some steps. Double click on the layer and rename it as jungles. Okay, here you will rename it as jungle scene and click on the keyframe of the jungle scene layer. Create a scene using tool, import an image on the stage. Then you will import an image on the stage. Now for importing, click on the file. You will go to file and then import, and then you have to go to import to stage. So after that, select the file and click open. You will select the file and you will click open, and after that click on the frame. You will go to frame and timeline to select the keyframe location. So click on insert menu, click on timeline and then click on keyframe. So animate creates our keyframe and animate also create frames between our keyframe. Like this, the frame will be created. Next is adding content to first keyframe and of new layer. So insert a second layer and rename as it monkey. Click on the keyframe of new monkey layer. Place the object. You will place the object to animate the stage, and we can create a new object using drawing tool. Now adding second frame. Now you want to add the second frame. For that, what you will do, you will click on the next frame to the timeline to add keyframe. To add keyframe, right click on the frame and then select insert keyframe from the menu that appears. Now animate insert a keyframe that copies the content from the previous frame. What it will do? It will copy the content from previous content. Now moving the object slightly. Now you want to move the object slightly. So for that, what you will do, change the object slightly to animate. Like move the object to a bit on the stage or change the appearance. You can also change the appearance. If you want to change the appearance of that object, you can change it. Now adding the third keyframe. Now you want to add another keyframe. So for that, you will follow the below steps to add third keyframe. Like click on the next frame. In the layer, you will click on the next frame and add a keyframe. Animate copies the content from the previous frame and change the object slightly again. Repeat step 14 and 50 until what happened, we finish moving the object. What you have to do, you have to follow the steps again and again. Now playing back the movie. Now you have done, now you have to play back that movie. So click on the first keyframe in the layer and press enter key. Adopt animates play the entire movie. The project is now completed. You can play and replay it. Now tuning. Now creating an animation using frame by frame technique requires lot of work and attention. So tween can be applied. Because it is very time consuming, so we can apply tween which can animate moving symbols. So a tween defines 2 points of movement in timeline in two keyframes. It's select, eliminate, calculate all in between frames necessary to get it from the first point to the last point. Now in frame by frame animation, we manually input the changes which is made to each frame in the sequence, while in tween we only specify first frame and the last frame. Now let's study what are the 3 types of tuning in animate. We have classic, motion and shape tuning. So let's study how to create a tuning, classic tuning. So for that we have different steps like select a keyframe where to start a classic tween. Now place the symbol. You will place the symbol to animate on the stage, and the position of the symbol should be starting point of the animation. What will be its position? It will be the starting point of the animation. Now click on the last frame to include in the tween, and then you will insert keyframe and your keyframe will be inserted. Now move the symbol to the position. You will move the symbol to the position to tween to the end, so that you can tween it to an end. Now right click Between the two keyframes, you will right click between the two keyframes and select them and click on the create classic twin from the menu that appears. Animate add color to the twin frames and draw on the arrow through them. Next is follow the below steps to test classic twinning. To view a classic twin in action, click on the first frame and press enter key. Then you will press the enter key. Adobe Animate plays and the entire animation sequence, and for that we can also test the movie by clicking on control menu and then click on the test movie. Then you will click on the test movie. Now creating a motion twinning. Now you want to create a motion twinning. So motion twin is a feature that allows us to easily animate the motion of an object, right? Instead of defining the location of the object in every frame, we can create a motion twin which will automatically move the object from the beginning location to the ending location. Once the twin has been created, we can click on any frame within the motion twin and move or rotate the object. We will move it or we will rotate it. So for that, we will animate automatically, which will build a motion. It will show you the motion path between the first and the next keyframe. Now next is below are the steps to create a motion twinning. So for that, you will select a keyframe to start the motion twinning and place the symbol to animate on the stage. The position of the symbol, it should be at the starting point of the animation. Now right click on the last frame to include the twin and click on the insert, and then where you will click, you will go to insert frame and right click between the two frames that makes up the twin to select the frames. Click on create motion twin. So drag the symbol to the position for the motion twin to, and now a path will appear on the object which will move, and we can create curved path for our object to follow. Animate defaults to start line, but we can modify it simple by dragging the points along the path. Now to view a motion twin in action, click on the first frame of the motion twin, then press enter key. So animate plays an entire animation sequence, and we can also test the movie by clicking on control menu and then click on test movie. Right? After that, we will click on the test movie and you can test it, how it is moving. Then we have creating a shape twin. We can use shape twinning to morph one shape to another. By tuning shape, it creates an effect similar to morphing, which means that one shape appear to change into another shape as it moves. We can morph a circle into square. Shape twin can only be applied to shape. In shape twin, what you will do, animate can also twin the location, size and color of shape. Next is follow the below steps to create a shape tuning. Now select the frame in which we need to start a shape twin. Drag the object to animate frame 1. You will drag the object and you will animate frame 1. So right click on the last frame to include in the twin and click on insert blank frame, right? And after that, you will drag the shape into which image needs to be morphed or changed. Next is right click between two frames that makes up the shape twin to select the frames. Click on create shape twin from the menu that appears. What you will do, you will animate colors the frames are shape twin. Next is open the property panel. You will go to properties panel over here and you will drag it. Click the blend menu and select angular. Angular blending attempts keep the straight line straight. What it will do? It will keep the straight line straight and corner sharp as the animation plays. Now follow the below steps to test shape twinning. To view a shape twin in action, click on first frame and press enter key. Animation plays animation and the morph from circle to polygon. You can see it have changed from circle to polygon, right? So you can change the shape, you can twin the shape according to your choice. This was all about the chapter of animation and layer. Hope you understood each and everything. Now we will meet in the next class. Thank you.